Hi, my name is Benjamin Weiner, Inclusionary Housing Specialist with the City of Somerville's Housing Division. Today, I'd like to share with you an upcoming homeownership opportunity, unit number 301 at 13 Alpine Street. This affordable condominium originally became available as a result of Somerville's zoning ordinance under the inclusionary zoning. At the time of permitting of this development, 20% of the units were required to be affordable. Affordable in this case is for households making up to 80% of the area median income. In order to ensure that these units remain affordable in perpetuity, we require both an affordable housing restriction to be recorded along with the master deed for the entire project, as well as a deed rider for each affordable unit that is purchased. The restrictions on this deed rider are important for anyone interested in homeownership through our program to be aware of, and need to be shared with any potential lenders as well, as not all lenders will accept these restrictions. One of these restrictions is that the unit must be the buyer's primary and principal residence year-round. That means it cannot be rented, either short or long-term, in its entirety or rented by room. This is something that the Housing Division's compliance team will monitor on an annual basis, ensuring that the unit is being used as the primary and principal residence. Another restriction is that if a buyer is looking to refinance, the city must be notified, and you must receive written consent from the city in order to refinance. In addition, if you are looking to sell an affordable unit, the city must be notified in writing. Lastly, and a very important point to note, is that the resale prices of affordable units are always calculated by the city. The prices are not calculated according to current market values, and also do not guarantee a specific percentage gain in value. The city can guarantee that a resale price is not set lower than the initial sale price was set. However, ultimately, the city must determine that a resale price is affordable in the same tier as the initial sale. For example, if a condominium is originally sold to a household making up to 80% of the area median income, a resale of that same unit would have to be affordable to households at that same income tier of 80%. 13 Alpine Street number 301 is located just off Cedar Street, off the Minuteman Trail Community Path, and in walking distance of Davis Square. This unit includes many desirable features such as hardwood floors, a stackable laundry unit, modern kitchen appliances, a Juliet balcony, a double sink in the master bathroom, a walk-in closet off the master bedroom, marble bathroom tile, and recessed overhead lighting. And also includes a parking space and a heated garage and a storage space. Also on this slide, you can see the floor plans, which are located in the top right corner. The green bar at the bottom of the floor plans is the hall where you enter. Once you enter the unit, directly to the left is the master bedroom with the walk-in closet, and connected is the master bathroom. Moving on from there, further down the hallway, you take a left to see the second bathroom, and all the way down the hall to reach the second bedroom. Then at the end of that primary hallway from where you enter the unit is the kitchen, which is separated from the dining and living space by a breakfast bar. And off of that dining and living space is a small Juliet-style balcony. For more information on this development and similar units, you can go to santanapropertiesteam.com, which is linked at the bottom of this slide. 13 Alpine Street, number 301, is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condominium available to eligible buyers at 80% of area median income. The sales price is $196,710. The monthly condo fee currently is $100. The minimum down payment for that sales price is $5,902. And the approximate monthly property taxes are $174.80. Once a household has been residing in the unit as of January 1st in any given year, they may file for an exemption with the assessing department for a lower monthly property tax. Eligibility requirements for this homeownership opportunity include a household asset limit of $75,000, which excludes retirement, college, and health savings plans. The head of household may not be a full-time student, and in the case of 2 heads of household, both may not be full-time students. And the household must be income eligible, making within 80% of the area median income. In this case, that is $80,850 for a household of 2, $90,950 for a household of 3, and $101,150 for a household of 4 on an annual basis. Beyond those basic eligibility requirements are some additional important requirements for this homeownership opportunity. First of all, applicants for homeownership in this program must be first-time homebuyers, which in this case means they cannot have owned property or interest in property within the last 3 years. For information about the few exceptions to this rule, please contact us using the contact information on the final slide. Additionally, applicants must have completed a first-time homebuyers course, or be enrolled in a first-time homebuyers course that will be completed by the date of the lottery. You should have a certificate or proof of this enrollment. Next, applicants must be pre-approved for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage in order to qualify for an inclusionary homeownership opportunity. The letter from the lender needs to include an interest rate or range of interest rates. It must cover the price of the unit minus the down payment that the applicant intends to make, and must be subject to a credit, income, and asset verification by the lender in order to meet the requirements of our program. Letters from internet banking sites such as Quicken Loans or Rocket Mortgage do not meet this requirement. Lastly, applicants must be able to demonstrate sufficient assets to cover the down payment, minimum of 3%, as well as closing costs. Individuals to be considered household members include all persons intending to move in and reside in the unit within the first year, related or unrelated. This includes anyone under or over 18, whether or not they receive income, and includes temporarily absent household members such as dependents of the head of household that are away attending college. In the instance of joint custody of children, if a child would reside in the household 183 or more days of the year, they would be considered a member of your household. Lastly, in cases of divorce or separation from a spouse or partner, if that process is ongoing, you are required to show evidence of their residency elsewhere. Otherwise, they may be considered a member of your household for the purposes of our program. In order to determine the income limit for your household size, you can refer to the chart included on this slide. The guidelines are updated on an annual basis in early to midsummer, so you should look for the newest guidelines for each separate opportunity for which you apply. In calculating your income, please note that it should be your gross income, which is not what you take home, but pre-tax income. Also, please note that for opportunities at 80% of the area median income in our homeownership program, there is no minimum income limit that we set. The affordability of this opportunity for your household would be determined by a lender, and you're receiving a pre-approval for a mortgage. When we talk about income counted in certifications for this program, we refer to all income received by members of the household, monetary or otherwise, and even if that member of the household is temporarily absent. You should take into consideration any anticipated income as well, as income is calculated for our program looking at the next 12 months following your income certification. We also count interest accrued from assets for any assets that are worth $5,000 or more. This includes assets to which any member of the household has access, including any joint accounts. It is an applicant's responsibility to divulge their income and any changes in income accurately. So if you are unsure of how to count your income or of which tier income you would fall into, please reach out to the inclusionary team using the contact information on the final page, and we can help you review any income or an asset documentation. On this slide, you'll see some examples of different types of income and assets, and it's important to talk about these forms of income and assets as they're sometimes forgotten. Once again, you should consider all income that you anticipate to receive within the next 12 months. What comes to mind for many when they hear income are wages or salary from employment. Also included as income is unemployment, Social Security or disability benefits, child support, even if the provider of the child support is in arrears or has fallen behind on payments. Self-employment is also considered income, even if it's an unreliable source of income or you're not paid on a regular basis. That would need to be reported at the time of your income certification. Gig work, fundraising events, or accounts such as GoFundMe, selling of art, or profits from yard sales are also all forms of income, as well as interest or dividends from assets that are at or in excess of $5,000. Next, included in terms of assets for this program, besides a standard savings or checking account, are also mutual funds, investment accounts, and retirement accounts, any cryptocurrency or apps such as Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. Robinhood, as well, is an example of an application that you would need to report, is considered as assets. We also require a certification of any cash on hand, which you should also disclose in your application. Please note that regardless of if there is a balance of $0 or any currency in any account of one of these types, you must provide documentation of the account. This includes all accounts in the USA or abroad, and joint or shared accounts that any or all members of the household have access to, even if someone from outside your household has access to that account as well. Here are some of the questions we will be taking into consideration during an income certification, and are things that you should take into consideration as well. Some examples are, will there be changes in employment or income during the next 12 months? That can include raises, commissions, loss of employment, new employment, seasonal income, which can also include overtime during holidays or other times of year, additional clients or contracts for those who are self-employed. You should also consider your pay frequency, whether it is weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, etc., when you're calculating your income. This slide has some tips to help you ensure that you're reporting your income as accurately as possible. First, for members of the household that are actively employed, it can be beneficial to check with your manager, HR, or a union representative about any changes in hours, anticipated raises, or other changes in income. For all bank accounts that are held or jointly held by household members, you should review 3 full months of the most recent statements to ensure that you know the origin of any and all deposits made into that account, and to review whether they would be considered income that you should be reporting. During your income certification, we will review these deposits and will require notarized affidavits explaining any deposits over $100 that can't be otherwise easily verified as income that you have already reported receiving. Next, you should review your federal tax returns for all household members. We require each household's federal tax returns for the last 3 years, which includes all pages, schedules, and W-2s. Once again, we are calculating income based on anticipated changes within the next 12 months as well. Once you have reviewed all the previous information, you can calculate your household's gross pre-tax income. We provide a page in our application packets that could be a helpful tool in doing this. Along with the submission of a pre-lottery application to be entered into a lottery, we require that you also submit your mortgage pre-approval letter for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage and your first-time homebuyer's course certificate or proof of enrollment in a course that will end on or before the date of the lottery. Please note that we are no longer requiring proof of Somerville preference at the time of the pre-lottery application, but will require it during an income certification. On pre-approval letters, such as the sample on this slide, we look to make sure that the loan amount covers the cost of the home minus the down payment that the household plans on making. The amount of this down payment should be disclosed in the assets section of your application so we can verify your eligibility. The letter should also include that the pre-approval is for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage and include an interest rate or range of interest rates that the lender will offer. The expiration date of the pre-approval letter should be valid at the date of the lottery. You should read the letter carefully to make sure there aren't any conditions in the letter that will make it difficult to actually receive a loan. And as a reminder, we only accept mortgage pre-approvals from actual lending institutions, not from online sites that may provide pre-approvals such as Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage. The second document that we need to determine that your pre-lottery application is complete is a first-time homebuyer certificate, or enrollment in a first-time homebuyer's course that will end on or before the date of the lottery. This course must be approved by the Massachusetts Homebuyers Collaborative, and you can find a link to these classes on this page. Please be aware that classes on this page are located both online and in person throughout the Greater Boston area, can have different fees associated with them, and may be offered in different languages. This slide includes all the documentation that needs to be complete and submitted at the time of your pre-lottery application. Your pre-lottery application must be submitted with all the supporting pieces of documentation, and we will not accept piecemeal applications and documentation. You may want to save this slide to use as a personal checklist for your application materials. The consequences of not disclosing your income accurately can result in disqualification and loss of an opportunity to purchase an affordable unit. If you have questions or need help with calculating your household's income, please contact us using the information on the final slide. The deadline for applications for this affordable homeownership opportunity is March 31st, 2022 at 2 p.m. We encourage households to submit their applications as early as possible, as Housing Division reviews applications on an ongoing basis as they are received, and if submitted early enough, we may have the opportunity to review your application and inform you of any missing or incomplete documentation prior to the application deadline. We will not accept any applications after 2 p.m. on March 31st. Currently, we accept applications by the following methods: email at inclusionary@somervillema.gov, fax to 617-591-3235, or mailed or brought to us in the form of a hard copy and addressed to Somerville City Hall Annex, Attention Inclusionary Housing, at 50 Evergreen Ave, Somerville, Massachusetts, 02145. Once the application deadline has passed, all applications that include the necessary documentation, including a mortgage pre-approval and first-time homebuyer certificate or enrollment, will be sorted into the relevant lottery pools. We will then assign all applicant households with a unique identifier, which includes some indicators as to the income limit, bedroom size, local preference, etc. of each applicant. For example, for applicants for a 2-bedroom unit, their unique identifier will include the number 2. And for applicants for an affordable opportunity at 80% of the area median income, their identifier will include an 80. Please review this identifier to understand into which pool you've been entered and your preference. Those selected at the lottery do not have to be present at the lottery in order to claim their place at the top of the wait list. Once a winner is selected, we will reach out to those households to complete an income certification. At that time, we will request the last 3 months of income verification, 3 months of asset statements, and 3 years of tax returns, as well as preference, if applicable, for this household. We will give about a week for the household to respond and send in initial documentation, so you may want to consider what documentation you have available and in good, presentable order, and what you will need to prepare. If you are found eligible in your income certification, at that time you will receive a proceed letter and will have 15 days to sign a purchase and sale agreement and have a home inspection completed. Closing is usually about 45 days following the execution or signing by all parties of the purchase and sales agreement. On this slide, you can find the information for the lottery. The video of the lottery should be viewable on YouTube within 24 hours. At which point we will have contacted the winner of the lottery for the opportunity to move forward with their certification process. If you have not heard from us within 24 hours, you most likely were not selected at the very top of the lottery. Full waitlists will be posted within 2 weeks on the Inclusionary website. The income documentation process also takes a few weeks, but households do not always qualify, so if you're selected second in the lottery for a unit, you may also want to prepare your income and asset documentation for a certification. It is unlikely for us to reach the third household on a waitlist for a homeownership opportunity. Please note that for homeownership, we do not maintain our lottery lists for resales. So, if a unit from this opportunity were sold again in the future, we would have a new lottery, and the winner of that lottery would have the first opportunity to purchase the unit. On this slide are the documents required to be submitted for review for a winning household to move forward. We will require all 2021, 2020, and 2019 tax returns from household members, including all pages, schedules, and W-2s. We will need all asset statements, including for accounts with zero or negative balance, and all pages of those statements, even if those pages are left intentionally blank. We also will need verification of any accounts that have been closed within the last 12 months. Additionally, we will need 3 months of complete consecutive income statements for all household members. In the case of self-employed household members, we need a year-to-date profit and loss statement, along with a projected profit and loss statement for the following 12 months. If anyone over the age of 18 has no current income, they will need to provide a notarized affidavit, the blank version of which we can provide you. If a household member over 18 is a full-time student, we will need verification from their registrar's office of their student status. Schedules of classes would not be sufficient in providing student status verification. As a full-time student, we would require a letter from the school itself. Next, we require, if applicable, verification of Somerville preference, either living or working 32 plus hours in Somerville. You should be aware as well that it's quite likely that we will require some additional documentation aside from this list, as every household situation is different, so you should not consider this to be a final, complete list of documentation requirements. And lastly, keep in mind that this is only required documentation for households that will have the opportunity to move forward and potentially purchase a unit, and not all lottery applicants. You can do your best to have this information ready, but you will not need to have all of this prepared in order to apply for the lottery. This final slide includes some additional information about this homeownership opportunity, where to find our information and application packets, where to find a first-time homebuyers course, and our contact information.